All right, everyone, here we are with ticker symbol NIO, NIO Inc. And before we jump into this chart, I want to say welcome to all my first-time viewers and investors. Welcome to the channel. To all my subscribers, welcome back, and let's jump into this chart. So NIO Inc., NIO stock has actually fallen more than it already had. So it continued this bearish run, but this was so volatile, which you could see it just broke even. It fell down hard. It brought itself back up, and it broke even from where it kind of left off. So it wasn't even a terrible down day or a terrible up day, right? It was just break even. You know, it didn't work its way all the way up terribly or on its way down terribly. It just brought itself back up significantly, and it just broke even. It wasn't terrible in the sense like it fell right back down. It's just break even, and it wasn't significant and like, oh, it was such a great up day that it brought itself up to newer highs. It broke even. It's just kind of hanging out in the same situation, in the same location. Now, I want to say thank you to every single investor that took the time to go ahead and share their thoughts and any research they've done about other analysis and experts predicting and stating that this could hit $100, this could hit 150, 200, and I've even seen upwards to 300. Now, me personally, realistically, I believe that the $60 mark could be hit and broken through leading up till January. But if this continues to fight like this with this type of movement, and we could see that it was working its way up towards 60 at this point, and it dropped, and then it was having volatility in the 40s range, and then it brought itself back up almost to 60, and it fell down. If it continues to struggle like this, I don't know how much further could this go than 60 from here to January. I could be wrong. Don't get me wrong. That I'm just stating based off of what the chart is showing us and the volatility. I could be actually stating this, and NIO and the bulls just appear, and big major institutions load up on stocks. They see this as a discount and say, we're going to take this one up to the next level. But those predictions and prices out there of $100, $150, $200, $300 sometimes are thrown out there without a time frame of when that's going to happen. I mean, anyone could say, you know, NIO's going to hit $100. Where it's at right now, and with the exponential growth that it's had, and it keeps holding itself up as it keeps growing, but it's been struggling lately with volatility. It ran up, and now it's having volatility again, and it's at a break-even point of this recovery here, because this was a major drop. I mean, it dropped down to 48.40, and then it started to work its way back up. But anyone could say it's going to reach $100, but when? Anyone can say it can reach 150, but when? 200, 300. You know, and that's the one thing about predictions that I like to avoid, is that you state these numbers, you look at them, and it turns out that, yeah, it hit it, but it took a year or 2 years. And some people are usually looking, well, not some, most investors, unfortunately, and it's all of us, you know, we have that little itch of instant gratification. We can't wait those 2 years. We want to invest now, and we want to make money now. So predictions are good. They create speculation and hope, but it's always good to look at the fundamentals and look at the chart closely. Could this hit $60 by January? Because I think the next major catalyst is probably going to be, you know, hope, speculation towards the end of the year, and then the overall market adding on to some growth here. But in January, we have NIO Day. I don't know if this is the third or fourth year. If anybody wants to correct that or quote me on that, you're more than welcome to. But I believe it's the third or fourth year of NIO Day. This is actually the first NIO Day where NIO is actually worth more than $3 per share. I mean, when we look back at this point at the beginning of the year, when NIO Day was coming up, it actually made this run, right? And it fell right back down, and it was hanging around the $3 mark. it wasn't worth more than $3 before that. So if this ran up like that, man, imagine what can happen coming up towards NIO Day. And all of this has probably something to do with the catalyst of NIO Day coming up. NIO has a lot of innovation coming out. They're talking about their supercar as well a lot this year. They're talking about how much production they're making, how much they have projected to sell. I mean, NIO is just on the right path. But $60, I believe it could be hit. $100, I think that's reasonable. But $150, $200, $300 in 2 months or within the next year, that probably is going to take some time. It's going to take some loading up on stocks and not a lot of this volatility, uncertain volatility popping up. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, we saw this happen, and everyone that isn't aware or is aware, it was due to that article about shorting and so forth. The stock, $25, $30. We're nowhere near $25, $30. It hasn't done it. Could it happen? I don't know. And this just keeps going up. I think NIO is on the right path and reach newer highs. Now, the $30 and $25, that's another possibility, but that's on the other side of the spectrum right now. Things are looking way too good for NIO to head that way. But the $60 mark, again, reasonable. $100 is a little bit overdoing it. And if it passes these numbers, I mean, that's going to be phenomenal stuff. But 150, 200, 300, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon for anybody seeking that instant reward of gains, right? And that's what we all want. We all want instant gratification. Want to put money in now. We want to make money now. But it takes time. Now, could this be valued at 200, 300? I don't say it won't, and I don't doubt it. This is a great company. If it continues to innovate, expand, go outside of China, it's going to go towards Europe, and you can just imagine how much it could more expand over time. But NIO right now, I realistically believe that 60 could be a point of reference that can be touched, and then $100 could be the next step. But upwards to 150, 200, that's a far stretch. Anybody that wants to agree with me, you're more than welcome to. I really agree too with the happy medium of $100 to $60. I've seen some people state 75, 80 bucks. That's possible too. Don't get me wrong. But I have seen that NIO have had a lot of volatility, a little bit more than unusual volatility since it had this last exponential growth where it ran up towards $45. Now, it's been doing really well at holding itself up above 40 bucks, 38, 38, and then here we are at the $40 range. This is the lowest point. Forget about the volatility here. But this right here is the lowest point from all of this that's been going on recently. It's been doing really well at holding itself up above $40. And the lowest point recently reached was down here at that 48.38 mark. Now, this type of volatility is not unhealthy, but it's not the healthiest way to continue to grow. It's jumping around too much, making uncertainty become a reality, probably kicking in some fear in investors, and also showing investors that exponential growth is becoming harder and harder to hold. Because before, it would grow, and I love doing these videos when I was talking about it before, and we would all look at it as a group. It would grow, it would hold itself up. Obviously, volatility of the market exists. It would grow, hold itself up, and then it would grow, hold itself up, grow, hold itself up, did it again, held itself up, and now it's been exponential. It's been holding itself up. Don't get me wrong. I'm all with it. We see it clearly in the chart, but it has just been pretty wild. And I know that article there, that was pretty intense. And that news during that time on the 13th, right? Friday the 13th. What a day. But it landed on that day and all that information and everything leading up towards it. And then it's been growing since. And then we're seeing that same volatility. I get it. The volatility has ups and downs. But NIO is acting up and down more than usual. We all know it as an up and down $1 here, $2 there, $1 up, $2 down, $1 up, and it kind of stays leveled out, kind of like this image right here. But before this image, it was up here. That's a pretty big drop. That's almost a $10 drop. And then we have a slight recovery of about $5. So NIO right now is doing like this 100% drop and then a 50% growth. And you could see that here too as well, 100% drop, a 50% growth. And then it continues to grow like it did again, but this is not looking so well overall. It's making it harder actually to work its way up to these predicted and projected growth numbers. I see the 60 possibility, I see the 75, and I see the 100. I would love to see what you guys see as well. So let's look at this chart here. Like I said, the lowest point reached down here was 48.37. Super important number. Write that down. If that gets broken through, this is on its way deeper into bearish territory and newer lows. Now, our support hasn't changed by much. Like I'm saying, it kind of brought itself back up. Even resistance stayed the same. 54.03. We're going to get to the T on it. We're going to get these numbers right, but I want you guys to know that these numbers are pretty similar to yesterday's support and resistance leading on to today. And this resistance was touched twice and rejected twice. And it's sitting at 53.86 right now. So the 50-day moving average is 53.54. As long as we're above it, the bulls are in control. The moment we're below it, the bears are gaining control. So for the bulls to maintain control and continue to work their way up to newer highs, 54.04 needs to be turned into a support and broken away from to reach new highs, new resistance levels, and further away from the 50-day moving average to get into bullish territory. Now the next step after that would be that 55.37 mark, and then obviously the highs of 58.25. So keep those two numbers in mind. But the first step is 54.04, turn that into a support, and reach newer highs from that point forward. Now, one of the lowest points in this recovery, slight sideways movement, leveling off, and then continuing to work its way up towards the 50-day moving average and breaking through it, is down here at this point at 52.09. If this gets broken through, the bears accomplish two things. They got the stock into bearish territory, and they broke through the support, getting deeper into bearish territory. I want every single investor to keep in mind that if 50-day moving average is broken through, that could be used as a midway. Well, actually not really a midway. It's pretty close to the price, but that can be used as a first level of support to pay close attention to the stock. The tug of war will be going on between the bulls and the bears, so you want to watch it closely. And if that gets broken through and your risk tolerance allows you to wait till 52.09, pay close attention to the behavior between the 50-day moving average and support. And if support gets broken through, this could be on its way to newer lows and work its way deeper into bearish territory. We're already in bearish territory before we get to 52.09. And if 52.09 gets broken through, that just means we're moving further away from the 50-day moving average, getting deeper into bearish territory. So I want every single investor to keep in mind to pay close attention to the behavior of this stock once it lands in bearish territory and if it breaks through this support. Again, an emphasis on resistance. 54.04 needs to be broken through for the bulls to continue themselves working up in this momentum and staying in bullish territory. As always, if you found this video helpful and informative, please do so and subscribe. Don't forget to click on the bell to turn on all notifications and not miss a single video that I post. Share this with your friends and community, and don't forget to hit the like button to let me know you watched this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.